Hi, my name is Renee Ali, student number ALL80097. It's my student card. This is part 1 of my practical assessment for Counselling Therapies 1. So my first client's name is Wade, who's aged 47. Wade has come to counselling as he's struggling to overcome his previous relationship of 12 years. It has been 3 years since the separation, and Wade is still finding it difficult to move on. He has even expressed having unrealistic fantasies about his ex, whom is now happily married. Wade has recently met a potential new partner and would like to give it a go, so he has voluntarily come to counselling as he feels it will help rid him of what he describes as an unshakable love. Goals for Wade are to get rid of these feelings he has for his ex and to move on with his life and with his new partner. Another goal would be for Wade to figure out what triggers these feelings he has and why they come about. Wade has come voluntarily to counselling. However, I fear he has only sought help due to meeting a new partner and not because he wants to change for himself. So I'm a little skeptical as to how receptive he will be to counselling. The benefits of using Gestalt Therapy with Wade is that it focuses on the here and now, not on his past. Bringing Wade to present will help him to distinguish those feelings he has of his past relationship. By helping Wade develop awareness of his feelings towards his ex-partner and thoughts in a present situation, it could help him resolve personal issues in order for him to move on wholly with his new partner Tracy. He has the ability to change his own actions once he becomes fully aware of what is happening, which is why I think Gestalt Therapy is suitable for him. I believe Wade will benefit from person-centered therapy as we are dealing with a loss. It will help him express his feelings of his ex-partner and experiences of the events that took place with his ex-partner. I believe Wade will progress with this therapy to reach his full potential as it focuses on him as a person and not on him as his problems. This therapy style is designed to help clients build their independence in order to help them cope with any situation they may face in the future. So once Wade learns to trust himself and to learn how to self-evaluate, he will progress to success and not feel so dependent on his previous relationship to help him move forward in life. Limitations when using Gestalt Therapy with Wade would be the fact that he does not deal with change well. Breaking up with his ex-partner was a huge change, and Wade continues to struggle with the loss 3 years later. Another would be if Wade doesn't accept his role in his current situation, then Gestalt Therapy will not work for him. Limitations of person-centered therapy would be if Wade is not motivated to change, then this therapy style is bound to fail. Also, listening and caring may not be enough for Wade. He may want more from our relationship. By using positive unconditional regard with Wade, I could be setting him up to fail in the real world, as he is already having unrealistic fantasies in relation to his ex-partner. I would use the empty chair technique with Wade. The reason I chose this is he can have an opportunity to explore the two aspects of himself. The aspect of him that wants to change and move on with his life and begin a new relationship, and the other aspect of himself that wants to hold on to his previous relationship, which is how he has learned to survive for the past 3 years. I would also use empathy with Wade because it will allow me as his counsellor to genuinely share his experience with him. By trying to understand where Wade is coming from, this allows him to feel understood. I would mainly use interpersonal empathy by reflectively stating back to my client what he has said. I will be gaining an accurate verification of my client's story. I would feel most comfortable using empathy, paying attention to body language, and congruence with Wade. My second client's name is Pamela, who is age 20. Pamela has an alcohol dependency problem which has landed her in debt from loans she has made. Her debt has stemmed out of control as she had needed to support her addiction. Her current income is not enough to pay back the money that is owed. She has come up with the idea that exotic dancing is a good way of getting the extra income she needs until her debts are all paid off. However, Pamela is having conflicting feelings about this idea. She has presented to counselling to help her gain clarity about what she should do. Goals for Pamela would be to gain sobriety from her alcoholism. She also needs to seek some financial advice in order to get herself out of debt. Pamela admits she has an alcohol problem. However, I fear Pamela has only come to counselling not to gain sobriety, but to figure out how to get herself out of debt only. Pamela cannot change what she doesn't acknowledge. The benefits of using Gestalt therapy with Pamela would be that Pamela will learn to live in the present moment, which will be an essential aspect to a successful recovery from alcoholism. It will help her gain self-awareness to successfully navigate the potential obstacles that can easily trigger a relapse. As she begins to gain better understanding of herself and her relationship with others, the odds of a lasting recovery will substantially improve. The benefits of person-centered therapy with Pamela would be that it will allow her to release any emotional distress, mental confusion, and limiting beliefs she has about herself, which has led her to her current issues. My positive attitude towards Pamela is also important, so that she feels encouraged and supported at all times. This will allow Pamela to steadily progress to self-realization. Concentrating on the here and now will be a perfect fit for Pamela, as it will encourage her to think in the present time. This therapy style is also very positive for her as it values the client. By encouraging self-expression, self-awareness, self-development with Pamela, she is gaining a greater understanding of herself. Limitations of using Gestalt therapy with Pamela would be it only deals with the here and now. We're not exploring her past or her development to figure out how she came to her current situation. I am also unable to diagnose Pamela with this therapy, as we are avoiding that. Limitations of using person-centered therapy with Pamela would be the fact that it relies on an overly optimistic view of Pamela. Also, as it is a non-directive approach, it relies too heavily on Pamela being the expert. As her counsellor, I am unable to gather a sufficient amount of information. I am also unable to challenge Pamela for her self-destructive behaviour. The techniques that will work best with Pamela would be congruence and from person-centered therapy. If I stay congruent with Pamela, I am able to empathise with particular emotions my client is having. I also believe if I am not holding up a facade with Pamela, the real issue will be with me. I would also use the reversal exercise with Pamela. The reason I chose this is because if practiced enough, the opposing behaviour might become permanently adapted in challenging circumstances. For example, when Pamela has the impulse to drink or to borrow money. There are several techniques I would feel comfortable using with Pamela. The empty chair technique to explore different aspects of her personality. Staying with the feeling is another good one, as Pamela numbs feelings with alcohol, and I would like to understand why. Interpersonal empathy would be useful. By me reflecting back to Pamela what she has expressed about her experience not only allows her to feel understood, but it allows me to understand her experience better. So my third client's name is Gareth, who is aged 42. Gareth has come to counselling as he is experiencing difficulties in his relationships with his two daughters. He has been separated from their mother for 4 years and works interstate. He has always had a good relationship with his daughters and would contact them via telephone weekly. After the announcement from his work that they will be relocating him back to the same city where his daughters and ex-wife live, he feels his relationship with his daughters has changed. He senses that they are unenthusiastic, scared of him, and angry. He fears that his ex-wife has been telling them stories in order for his daughters to not want a close relationship with him. He has come to counselling to assist him with these issues. Gareth came to counselling willingly, so I believe he will be very receptive to counselling. He understands he is facing a few difficulties and therefore he is seeking assistance to help resolve them. I believe person-centered therapy is suitable for Gareth, as he is in the early stages of his crisis and has also come voluntarily to counselling. I, as his therapist, would have no problem accepting Gareth with unconditional positive regard. I will need to have my first session with Gareth to confirm his suitability for Gestalt Therapy. I can determine that I do not have any reluctance towards Gareth for personal reasons. However, I will need to determine his expectations. What does he expect from counselling? Is he willing to explore his role in his current problems, or is he looking to be directed? I need to confirm if Gareth is motivated for a sometimes painful and strenuous journey. I will run a few interventions with Gareth to determine client suitability. Limitations of using person-centered therapy is that I am unable to challenge any discrepancies in Gareth's story. This therapy also projects too many feelings onto me as his counsellor. I am also unable to direct Gareth in any way as he is in control. He may be disappointed in this as he may want more to be guided and advised. Limitations of using Gestalt therapy with Gareth would be it discourages me as his counsellor to teach. Gareth could want to be guided and advised. Also, it is a therapy that only deals with the here and the now. What about Gareth's past? We are not exploring this, and I believe this could limit Gareth's counselling experience. I would use unconditional positive regard from person-centered therapy with Gareth. My reasons for this are because my client is feeling vulnerable at this time and deserves a respectful environment where he is heard in a non-judgmental way. By showing him compassion, love, care, he is more inclined to open up to me. I think the experiment The Empty Chair would be the most appropriate for Gareth from Gestalt Therapy. The reason I chose this is because it will allow us to explore the relationship between my client and his ex-wife, and we could also use it to explore the relationship between my client and his daughters. This will allow us to recall emotions between all the parties and resolve the impasses he has been having with his ex-wife and his daughters. For example, what makes Gareth think his daughters are angry? We can recall the dialogue between him and his daughters. I would feel comfortable using the empty chair technique, confrontation, and unconditional positive regard. This concludes part 1 of my Counselling Therapies 1 assessment. Thank you.